Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the second update, and as you can see, we are widescreen. Now, bear with me because I have to be looking at a camera which is right there, in order for me to be looking at you straight on. Because if I look at you straight on, it'll be like this. So, I'm growing here, I'm learning. Because last week, portrait mode, that works great for Instagram. It does not work great for YouTube or YouTube mobile. So, I'm evolving on the fly. You're witnessing it. So anyway, let's get to it. This week I'm talking to you about one of three different prototypes that I am working on currently with Fox Knives. And this one is the SRCO. Look at this little flipper right here, guys. This thing is wild. I'm absolutely loving this knife. Now, what we're going to do today is in a moment I'm going to cue some B-roll up and we're going to go a top-down view taking a look at the knife. I'm going to be talking to you about the specs and giving you an up-close and personal look. Then we're going to come back up here and I'm going to show you basically what I'm going to be changing, because this is prototype number one, and there's going to be, other prototypes as I'm refining this with Fox. So I'm going to be telling you what I'm already trying to change on this. And this one, I will tell you, there's not much. I like it a lot here. And then I'll be turning to you guys and talking about what you would want to see in this knife and why I'm asking you this. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the knife. All right, folks, let's take a look at the SRCO. Now, I have two different variations here, one aluminum, one G10, okay? First, we're going to take a look at some specs here. So, let me zoom in a bit more. There we go. All right, so the SRCO, overall length, you're looking at about 6 9/16 inches, right? Almost 7 inches. For those that deal in centimeters, you're looking at about 16.67 centimeters. The cutting edge of this blade, so not the full edge, not the full length of the blade, just the cutting edge, right? You're looking at about 2 5/8 inches or 6.67 centimeters. The handle, you're looking at 3 7/8 inches or about 9.84 centimeters. And again, the blade shape here on this one, it's kind of like if a Tanto and a drop point had a baby. So if you look up Japanese Tanto, this kind of sits more in the Japanese Tanto realm. So I'd say, it's about a 70-30 split of Japanese versus an American Tanto. Flipping this over now, you can take a look here on the back. Again, we have a liner lock, right? Zoom out a little bit there so you can see both. Get that out of the way. You're looking at a liner lock. Right now, it's a flat grind. Okay, we got some jimping up here, right, for your thumb. Got a little swedge there. Now, the swedge will be a nice little addition if you're cutting cardboard. You're cutting anything. When you want to go and turn that knife, that swedge is going to help make that turn easier. Aside from aesthetics, there is an actual reason why swedges are on knives sometimes. And then again, we have a milled clip. Now, I will say that the milled clip here, it is sitting slightly elevated on this contouring, and I will address that as soon as we talk about what's going to change. But you got your back spacer, your pivot collar. There we go. So, anyway, we have the SRCO. And like I said, overall length of this just under 7 inches. So again, I have a large hand, and let's zoom out a bit here. I got a large hand, and in my hand, right, it's about the length of a finger and a half. It sits comfortably, right? It's not popping outside, but again, here you go, choked up, I'm just getting full purchase on this. My pinky is definitely not at risk of slipping out. Now, if you had a larger hand, your pinky might, but you might be one of those folks that likes, keeping the pinky on the bottom. Either way, this is not meant to be a very large knife. This is meant to be a small EDC. All right, we're back. There we go. I had to find the camera again. We're back. So, what did you think of the knife? I think this is a really great little flipper. This is probably one of the smallest designs that Luft has designed yet. This is going to be a great everyday carry. I mean, you're looking at a blade that is just ready for slicing, right? It's more Japanese tanto than American tanto. I'd say you're probably looking at about a 65% Japanese, 35% American. And it works. It works really nicely. So what am I changing on it? Like I said, not much. Obviously, I want to see this in a micarta variant. The backspacer, the pivot collar combos, I'm cool with. Again, this is going to be something that will, again, fall under the quote-unquote budget realm. When I say budget realm, I think 200 and less. And yeah, so the only other thing that I am going to change is this pocket clip. And as you can see, it starts low, ends high. And that has to do with, again, some contouring, which you can see here. You might even be able to see it better on this aluminum version. See the contouring. Now, it doesn't fly. It doesn't fly with me. If it doesn't fly with me, it's definitely not going to fly with you. And so we're going to, alter the contouring on one side and make sure that the clip lands flat. Other than that, the deployment's great on a flipper. The deployment's great on a middle finger flick. You can slow roll it up just fine. So at this point, that is really the only thing that I'm changing on this model. Now, let's talk about variations, right? I said that a budget knife for me is $200 less. Now, that might not be in everyone's wheelhouse. A budget knife might be under $100 for you. But I'm asking y'all, what kind of variation do you want to see this in? What materials would you like to see this in? Better yet, what is your perfect variation for this knife? I'm asking because I want to make extremely educated decisions and poll the audience before I go and talk with Fox and say, hey, you know what? Let's do a bunch in this and a bunch in this and do this, this, this. Or here's the price point I want to try and hit. Again, nothing has been determined here, right? I have these prototypes. They're here. They could be a sub $100 knife. They could be a sub $200 knife. Do I want to take this and turn it into a full titanium Magna Cut build? That is also a possibility. If everyone's asking for something like that, it's something that I would consider. Going with Fox, right? If you had watched my first YouTube update, I am going down this wholesale route where I'm working and designing knives, but I'm basically catering to bigger box companies. For example, if you've seen BattleBox, their current knife of the month is the BXTR. And we have County Com, who's also going to be purchasing that knife. We also have Blue Ridge Knives, again, and I'm reaching out to others. So I'm looking to build a knife in variations that appease the masses. Because, like I had mentioned previously, for me, it's about getting the designs into the most hands possible. While this would be cool in a full Zerkatai build with Zerk backspacers and a DLC Magna Cut blade, I'm not gonna be building something like that because the market significantly shrinks. And as I walk through these videos with you weekly, you'll start to understand my business model and what I'm trying to do. Again, for me, it's not truly all about the money. It's about getting designs out there. And for most, finding a knife in the $100 to $150 price point with the best materials I can potentially get for it, that's kind of my goal. So anyway, back to y'all. What variation of the SRCO do you want to see? And I appreciate it. So thanks, folks. Thanks for bearing with me on my first widescreen here. I hope my eyes haven't moved around because I'm trying not to watch myself, right? That's the tricky part. Also, if you ever have any suggestions, comments, concerns, all that, leave them down. Don't be an asshole. Be nice, I'm really not one of those guys that will go and react to asshole comments. I'll just delete them. So be nice. We're all one big community here, and I'm doing my best to try and keep y'all updated, which means if you want to stay updated, subscribe. Again, I'm not creating this channel to make money. I'm creating this channel to make sure that the people who care about Luft get the information as soon as it drops. So I appreciate y'all. Thanks for bearing with me. I can get a little wordy. But yeah, I love you. Talk to you guys later.